Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Silicon Sounds, audio for the rest of us. Today, we're switching gears a bit. Now, I'm reviewing on my channel probably my first over-ear full-size headphones. This is the Kiwi Ears Altriva. I'd like to entitle this review as More for Less. It's going to be a little different as well. Let's give you a little look at it. Nicely done. Not real wood, if you were thinking about that. Sorry about the camera angles and such. It is large and my setup is really designed for IEMs, but we'll go as far as we can. The Kiwi Ears Altriva is a full-size open-back headphone featuring a single custom in-house developed 50mm dynamic driver. The cost of this is just $69 USD. It does bring a lot to the table for its asking price, though. When looking at the Kiwi Ears overhead headphone lineup, just a few dollars separate at least 3 or 4 different headphones. With the lowest cost one is the $39 Kiwi Ears Division, and the most that I saw, at least on their website, that's indicated. The thing with Kiwi Ears website is they don't always show you everything that they have, is the $349 Atheia. So those are the outliers. The rest of them are all in the $60 to, let's say, $80, $90 range USD. The Altruva, according to Kiwi Ears site, is tuned to emulate the precision of studio monitors, without the mention of which specific models that they're trying to emulate. But it's a general tuning. Tuning-wise, the Altruva offers a balanced presentation with an audible mid-bass emphasis over sub-bass. It has an open sound that is not hyper-detailed, but more natural in that respect. I did find, though, that pairing the Altruva with a warmer source resulted in too much mid-bass emphasis, and this definitely impacted the overall sonic balance negatively. It does like power. 50mm driver, not the little 5 or 6 or 8 or 10mm drivers in IEMs. This does require some power, but not over the top, especially when compared to IEMs, I should say. I was listening to just prior a number of IEMs, some I thought were harder to drive, and the Altruva is harder to drive than most of those. But it's definitely not hard to drive, let's just put it that way. A capable source, though, is recommended. A more neutral source is definitely recommended here, as a warmer source tends to again overemphasize the mid-bass prominence, although it never becomes boomy. But what this does is it calls attention to itself and actually negatively impacts the overall balance, including the clarity of the highest frequencies. So specs, we have a 50mm in-house developed driver unit, custom unit I should say, not necessarily self-developed but custom. Impedance is 32 ohms, sensitivity is 98 dB, there again, not the most sensitive. Response 20 Hz to 40 kilohertz. Plug is a 3.5mm, and it comes with a 6.35mm adapter. So it's single-ended. Cable length, though, is 3 meters, which is excellent. I like that. Build and fit. Attractive-looking headphones. It's got a wood grain motif, although it is not wood. Definitely, it's open back. When taking these off your ear and listening from the rear, you definitely get a lot of the sound output. So guaranteed open back. Comfortable fit. The pads are, I believe, removable, although I haven't done that, and they are thicker. Kind of soft and supple, but as you get lower, the resistance becomes greater. It's actually a very comfortable fit. Built quite well, but the materials seem less than optimal in terms of quality. Kind of thin, but nothing that says that it won't last a long time if well taken care of. All in all, pretty good build quality. We see the headband here. It's an elastic as opposed to adjustable in graduations. So that is hit or miss for some people, but for me, the fit was very good. Now the cable. I'll move this aside. Sorry about my desk. The cable is a beast. It's a 9 feet, well, 3 meters. So quite a long cable. It is fabric covered, nicely done. These are the terminations to go into the right and left. And yes, they are clearly marked. right, and left. Single-ended termination. It is not, I should say, it's not a convertible type of cable. It has just one 3.5 millimeter. I don't know why there are threads here. Again, I'm coming from the world of IM, so the cable is good, definitely. Although there are some negatives, microphonics were heard at very low levels. I should say when there was no music playing and I'm rubbing on the cable, I can hear it sometimes through the headphones. And even on the headphone housing itself, sometimes there was the microphonics that could be heard, but only audible when nothing else was playing. Still, that's something I need to mention. Comfort was above average, and retail presentation is basic but attractive. Comes in a large Kiwi Ears box to house this. Basically, what you're getting is the cable and the headphones. I'd have to double check if there's anything else, but I didn't see anything at the time. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So let's talk quickly about the bass, and we're going to do this in point form to speed things up a bit, but still be a little bit more concise, but still precise. Bass goes relatively deep, but sometimes is overshadowed by the mid bass. The lower bass has power to it, but definitely overshadowed by the strength, the power, and the snap of the mid bass, and at times could feel a little wanting depending on the track. But when I threw on a bass heavy house track, I didn't feel I was really missing much, if anything at all. Moderate speed with snappy mid bass. Mid bass prominence is obvious. Good but not class leading definition in the sub bass. The mid bass definitely has more definition to it than the sub bass. When listening, for example, to Angel by Massive Attack, the impact was there, not as much deep down as I would have heard, let's say, in some previous IEMs I've heard, just coming off of the BGVP DMA, for example. But it was there. But the texture of the deepest bass, which is very prominent on more detailed, bass detailed headphones or earphones, was missing slightly. Mid bass is more defined than sub bass, and deep bass thump is there when called for. Absolutely, these are not bass head, but I don't believe you'll be missing that much if you're listening to a lot of tracks with deep bass. If you're a bass head, these aren't for you, but if you like quality music reproduction, I would give these a listen. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Mid-range, balanced presentation, macro detail focus. There are some micro details present. It is quite a quick 50 millimeter driver. Whatever they've done here with their driver, they've done it well. Still, it is macro over micro detail focus, clear and open with some added warmth in the mid-range, in particular in the lower mids. Pleasing timbre and balance. Transients have a sharp attack and natural decay. Very good for such a large dynamic driver. Layering and separation are adequate, not class leading, but enough to keep everything from sounding jumbled up together with that wall of sound, which you never really get with the Altruva at all. Pin gain is moderate, and there is no harshness noted. Treble. Treble is moderately extended. There is some cutoff at the top, at the very top end of treble. That being said, pleasing sparkle in air. Detail is macro over micro with some micro detail still present. Laid back at times, but clean and expressive when the track calls for it. The overall sound is balanced. We're talking bass, mids, and treble here. Let's bring it all together. The overall sound is balanced with a noted mid-bass emphasis over sub-bass. The Altruva is source sensitive. I found that out in the first 24 to 48 hours. And pairing it with the warmer source can exaggerate the mid-bass at times, which may overshadow the low end, the deepest bass, and obscure the treble to some extent. Using a more neutral source that is also capable in terms of power output, return the sonics to a more balanced presentation with now apparent sparkle in air. Yes, these do have sparkle in air. I've seen some people talk about them lacking in that regard. And really, what I found, because I have a number of sources I can listen to with an identifiable sound signature, I did find that pairing this with a capable, more neutral source brought that out. So layering and separation are well accomplished, the driver having enough of a quick response and control to accomplish this. So it does well with complex tracks. I guess this is owning up to its trying to emulate studio monitors. Imaging and soundstage. moderately large size open sound stage, which you can say is akin to the open back design. Instrument placement is distinct, though not class leading. Dimensions are more natural than exaggerated. What I mean by this is that the width, the height, and the depth are more or less in coherence with each other. Yes, there's a little bit more width and height and depth, but not so much more that it feels that it's strewed in one direction. So it's a more natural presentation with respect to that. Depth and in particular height are well presented with the Altruva. Absolutely. Possibly again due to its open back design and of course the quality of the driver and the seal of course that you get with these headphones. Imaging is quite nice. More of a natural sounding, relaxing, and I would even say a touch organic in terms of imaging and soundstage. So, quick conclusion for this quick review. With the Altruva, Kiwi Ears have produced a good sounding and budget-friendly over-ear headphone. When paired with a neutral source capable of sufficient clean output, the Altruva did well even for longer listening sessions with its balanced sonics. When the $70 price is considered, and at the end of the day, we always have to consider price. We have to pay for these things. I believe the Altruva to be an impressive release. Good clean sound with all the open back headphone soundstage characteristics. For many, the Altruva will be more than a capable introduction to the world of over-ear headphones. I'll say that again. This is a wonderful set if you're just coming from IEMs and you're within that budget and you want to try an over-ear headphone. You like a balanced sound signature, and you have the sources that can drive it adequately. I think this is a great introduction. It's a great introduction over-ear headphone, full-size headphone. Is it the best at any one thing I've heard? No. Is it the worst? Absolutely not. But the balance of everything, the sum of the parts, or I should say the whole in this case, is greater than the sum of the parts. It does sound quite good when the price is considered. Now, I just came listening from the BGVP DMA, and I have other ones on my desk, such as the Kiwi Ears, couple Kiwi Ears sets right here, and a bunch of other sets I have around, and it's a disconnect when you're listening to IEMs and then you switch to over-ear headphones. In a nutshell, I would say that a good over-ear headphone or full-size headphones gives you more of a speaker-like presentation as opposed to an IEM, the majority of which give you a more in-the-head presentation. Some of them go outside. Absolutely. This is the Eroso, by the way, that I reviewed some time ago. Pretty good all-rounder. This gives you a more, like, as if you're sitting in your room listening to your speakers at a distance, per se, as opposed to most IEMs, not all. There are some IEMs that come very close to or match some over-ear headphones in that regard. That being said, my end game conclusion is that the Altruva is a great set, particularly if you're getting into overhead earphones. The isolation was good with the earpads. Comfort was really good. And for long listening sessions, it was not an issue at all. Again, this is $69, folks. So Kiwi Ears have done it again. Nice release. If you are in a budget where you're getting $200, $300, $400, you will definitely find something that probably sounds markedly better in different aspects. But with respect to the mix, what they've done here and how they've combined all the sonic pieces together, they've done a really good job. Once again, that is the review of the Kiwi Ears Altruva. I want to thank you very much for joining us on Silicon Sounds. Please look us up. Canuck Audioholics Anonymous, Canuck Audioholics on Facebook group is growing quickly. A group of dedicated music lovers who just happen to enjoy gear as well. And keep a lookout for my next review and some other interesting videos I have planned for this YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends about it. And until the next time, take care. From Silicon Sounds, audio for the rest of us.